Dear friends, welcome to the ninth standard class of biology. My name is Jacob John. Today I am going to teach you about the fundamental unit of life. I hope all of you are safe and sound, healthy, wealthy and wise. So shall we begin, friends? Fundamental unit of life. You might heard this name before in 8th standard, I think so. The fundamental unit of life. What does it refers to? Okay, you guessed right. Cells. So we will learn deeply about the cells and what all things are combined in this fundamental unit of life. Okay? So let's move on further. While examining a thin slice of cork, Robert Hooke saw that the cork resembled the structure of a honeycomb consisting of many little compartments. This was in the year 1665 when Hooke made this chance observation through a self-designed microscope. Robert Hooke called these boxes cells. Cell is a Latin word for a little room. Cell means a little room. This may seem to be a very small and insignificant incident, but it is very important in the history of science. Although it may sound as insignificant, it's very important. This was the very first time that someone had observed that living things appear to consist of separate units. The use of the word cell to describe these units is being used till this day in biology. Let us find out more about cells. What are living organisms made of? Robert Hooke in 1665, what he did? He observed a slice of bread. Every discovery in this world opened doors to big things which human beings were unaware of. So those who love science must explore every day to find something new, so that we can also dedicate or we can also give something new to this world. Okay, so here Robert Hooke observed a slice of bread. As I told you earlier, he saw that these substances are made up of small cells. That means very small room. So now we are going to learn what all things are combined in these cells, or what are these living organisms are made of. Let's do an activity. Let us take a small piece from an onion pulp with the help of a pair of forceps. We can peel off the skin called epidermis from the concave side, means inner layer of the onion. This layer can be put immediately in a watch glass containing water. This will prevent the peel from getting folded or getting dry. What do we do with this peel? Let us take a glass slide, put a drop of water on it and transfer a small piece of the peel from the watch glass to the slide. Okay? Make sure that the peel is perfectly flat on the slide. A thin camel hair paintbrush might be necessary to help transfer the peel. Now we put a drop of saffron solution on this piece, followed by a cover slip. Take care to avoid air bubbles while putting the cover slip with the help of a mounting needle. So we have prepared a temporary mount of onion peel. We can observe this slide under low power followed by high powers of a compound microscope. Okay, so we need a microscope here. Before going further, Let's understand about this device microscope. What all parts are there in this microscope? How can we use it? So you have to understand and remember the names of the parts of a microscope. Okay, there is a diagram or a picture right in front of your screen. The top of the microscope on your screen, you can see eyepiece, and the tube goes down, and there is the body tube. The eyepiece is situated, the eyepiece is placed on that body tube. So through that eyepiece you can see the slide under the objective lens. Okay, so back of the eyepiece and the body tube you can see coarse adjustment where you can adjust your view, and below that coarse adjustment there is fine adjustment, and the rod which holds the coarse adjustment and fine adjustment is called arm. So that is the arm of the microscope on which the coarse adjustment, fine adjustment and the eyepiece and body tube is placed. Then below the body tube you can see objective lens. That objective lens helps us to see the cells on the slide. Actually that helps us to magnify what we are seeing. And then below the objective lens you can see a clip and a microscope slide. Okay, so the cells or whatever we want to see are placed on this microscopic slide, and the thing on which this slide is placed is known as stage. So the thing on which this slide is placed is known as stage. Okay, below the stage is the condenser, and below the condenser there is a mirror through which we get light to see those magnified objects clearly. Okay, on this arm section there is a swivel. Okay, swivel is placed below the arm section. Okay, so I hope that you got a clear picture about microscope. You can see on the screen how microscope works and what all things are consisted in a microscope. Okay, so we need an eyepiece, a body tube, a clip, a microscopic slide, a condenser, a swivel, stage, mirror, objective lens, arm, fine adjustment and coarse adjustment. This is a compound microscope. There is another microscope that is called electron microscope. We will learn about that in our coming topics. Okay, so that was compound microscope. Okay, we can try preparing temporary mounds of peels of onions of different sizes. What do we observe? Do we see similar structures? These structures look similar to each other. Together they form a big structure like an onion bulb. We find from this activity that onion bulb of different sizes have similar small structures visible under a microscope. Alright? The cells of the onion peel will all look the same regardless of the size of the onion they came from. Okay. These small structures that we see are the basic building units of the onion bulb. Because we placed onion peels under the microscope on the slide, right? So these structures are called cells. Not only onions but all organisms that we observe around are made up of cells. However, there are also single cells that live on their own. The invention of magnifying lenses led to the discovery of the microscopic world. It is now known that a single cell may constitute a whole organism, as in amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium and bacteria. These organisms are called unicellular organisms. Uni means single On the other hand, many cell groups together in a single body and assume different function in it to form various parts in multicellular organisms. Multi means many, such as some fungi, plants, and animals. Can we find out names of some more unicellular organisms? Okay. Every multicellular organism has come from a single cell. How? Cells divide to produce cells of their own kind. Okay, so cell in itself divides to form their own kind. All cells thus come from pre-existing cells. Some organisms can also have cells of different kinds. Look at the following picture on your screen. It depicts some cells from the human body. Take a look on the picture. See how a smooth muscle cell looks like. Alright, so thin, right? That it looks like a small string. That is a smooth muscle cell. Look at those blood cells, small, rounded. Those are blood cells. Now, if you look at the nerve cells, it has some projections like amoeba, branches, long tube, and roots-like projections. That's a nerve cell, which sends and receives messages to nervous system. And then you see the fat cell, the big one, fat. And then a bone cell. The bone cell looks like, it's like a pearl. It looks like a pearl with some hairs around. Now you look at the ovum. It's round like an egg. Then the sperm cell. It's in like a swimming position. Okay. So these all are kinds of cells of different organisms. We will learn more about cells in the next video. Till then, God bless you. Bye-bye.